Right, it's the first video I've done for a while. I'm in England at the moment. I got back here in March, I think it was. But there were some things I wanted to do in Thailand there. I wanted to do some renovations on my condo and things. So I'm going to be going back. I've been booking some flights. I've already booked my flights, but I just want to show you how I've done it. So I'm not going to fly straight there. I'm going to do a kind of budget airline world tour. I thought, why not? I started looking at flights and realised that with budget airlines, you can get pretty much all the way, sort of hopping around at different places. So I'm going to be stopping off at a few different places along the way, and I'm just going to show you how I've booked my flights. So yeah, basically I'm getting budget flights from the UK. So I'm actually flying from Stansted in London. First I'm flying to Vienna. From Vienna I'm flying to Kuwait. From Kuwait, Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi to the Maldives, to Mali in the Maldives. From there to Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur to Cebu in the Philippines. Philippines to Bangkok. So it sounds like a long sort of journey. I'm guessing most people wouldn't want to do something quite that long, but I get to go to some pretty cool places along the way. So if you've got the time, this is a really good way of doing it. None of my flights have cost any more than, I think, £130. The first flight going to Kuwait, the first flight, which actually is from the UK to Kuwait, is via Vienna, but it's like a 24-hour stop there. That only costs like £70. And then from Kuwait, I've booked Kuwait to the Maldives, but it's a 24-hour stop in Abu Dhabi, which gives me a day in the UAE. That costs like £80, So it's just really cheap flights, basically a budget airline world tour. So I thought it's far more interesting than just getting a direct flight. And it's actually not going to cost that much more than if you were just to book one flight. So I'm just going to show you how I book my flights online. I've already got mine, so if I were to look for my flights, it will be expensive because I'm flying in like a few hours. But I'm going to search for in a couple of months and just show you the prices that are available. It's crazy if you actually look, especially at doing one way and lots of different one-way trips, how cheap you can get flights for. So my screen recording equipment is just me pointing my phone and my computer, so it might not be that smooth or anything, but I'm going to show you what I've been searching for. And maybe you'll be able to do something similar yourself, put together some sort of a trip. So I'm going to get my phone. So the website I like to use is kayak.com. So Kayak is similar to Skyscanner. A lot of people recommend Skyscanner, but I think it's as much to do with Skyscanner doing affiliate programs and giving commissions as it is about it actually being good. So I find on Kayak, when you're searching, it's very good just to be able to do different kinds of searches. So I've searched here to get my flight from London to Kuwait. I searched London. You can also then add in nearby airports. So it's just any London airport plus airports within 70 miles. And that brings in, obviously, Stansted, which is where the cheap flights are from. Because my first flight is actually a Ryanair flight from Stansted to Vienna. And then it's a Wizz Air flight from Vienna on to Kuwait. So if you do that on your settings, do any London airport rather than putting in like Heathrow, Gatwick or whatever. And then add in the plus 70 miles, put where you want to go. And when you put your dates, you can always then put the plus or minus 3 days of departure, which is here. When you do that, obviously you can see which dates are cheap, which ones are expensive, etc. So if I just put this, so if I go to August, you can see like the green, the different colours meaning if it's expensive or cheap. I just do this one. You can see here I've already searched. I found on 19th of September here, so it's in a couple of months. You can get a flight for £78. Obviously, you need to be okay with long stops, but there's plenty of options with shorter stops also for relatively cheap amounts. I actually paid, I think, £80 for my flight, and I wanted the long stopover, so I've got extra places to go to. So yeah, so £70-80 just by searching like that, and I've got my flight to Kuwait. I'm going to be staying in Kuwait for 6 or 7 days. I've got a friend there, so I'm staying there for a while. And then from there, the cool thing about anywhere in the Middle East is you can get budget airline flights to some pretty interesting places that we don't think of as budget kind of places. If you're coming from say Europe, the UK, America, anywhere like that. So to go from Kuwait to the Maldives, to Mali, I think it's pronounced. I actually paid, I think I paid £72. When I've searched here, I've done the same kind of search, plus or minus 3 days. You know, I mean, the cheapest ones here are coming up at £96, £98. So I mean, it's still cheap. And all of these flights, pretty much all of them, they go via somewhere in the UAE. So maybe Abu Dhabi or Dubai. My flights are via Abu Dhabi. So I'm going to be able to stop there. I've got a day there. So again, for me, I see that as a bonus, having a day somewhere else. You know, it's a full 24 hours, so I will have like a night there sort of thing. So I get to have a day in Abu Dhabi and then fly on to the Maldives. From the Maldives, you're a little bit more limited unless you're going back to the Middle East. Then you're going to find it's a bit more expensive. But by that, I mean here, Mali to Kuala Lumpur, £138. I mean, you can normally get to Kuala Lumpur. If you're going to Kuala Lumpur or Singapore, it won't cost you too much. And Kuala Lumpur is in a really good place to get cheap flights because, number one, they'll be direct because they'll all be AirAsia, and AirAsia fly pretty much everywhere. I mean, there's lots of options. It's never that expensive if you're going to Kuala Lumpur. So yeah, it's a great place to go. And then from Kuala Lumpur, I'm going to Cebu. I'm going to say here, there's 63. I think I paid, 59 or something to get to Cebu. I wanted to go there. I went to the Philippines in the winter. I went to Davao, and I didn't enjoy it too much, but I think it was more just me being miserable than there being anything wrong with the place. So I want to go back to the Philippines. So I'm going to go to Cebu this time, see what it's like there. And yeah, we've got 60 odd pounds here. It's pretty much every day. I mean, there's always cheap flights from Kuala Lumpur to pretty much everywhere in the Philippines. So yeah, to get to Cebu, I'm sure I paid 58 or 50. It wasn't much anyway. It was a cheap flight. And then I've done the same again to get from Cebu to Bangkok. That's via Manila, but that's only a short stay in Manila, so that's nothing. I think it was 4 hour stop over in Manila, so not too bad. It's not too bad. It's not long enough to actually do anything and leave the airport, but it's, you know, it's not crazy. And then to Bangkok. Now I've got some bits to do at my condo in Hue Hin, so I'm gonna be staying there for 2 weeks. From then, I then booked a one-way flight back from Bangkok back to London. I didn't bother with. I just did a direct flight. I think that cost me £300. So the total cost of all of my flights, I'll put the actual total cost on the screen because I don't know off the top of my head, but it was about sort of £700. Which, I mean, it would be a lot if you just paid for a return ticket from the UK to Thailand. But when you've got the return ticket from the UK to Thailand and I'm stopping at all these pretty decent places in the way, I think that's decent. I often hear of people paying like £600-700 for a return ticket, and I always think, you can get them way cheaper. And if you do something like this, obviously I've only got hand luggage, so that's something worth factoring in. But yeah, it's going to be far more of an adventure than just getting a return flight. So yeah, that's what I've got planned. That's what's coming up in the next, well, I actually leave I leave from here in about 5 hours. I'm getting a bus from Nottingham, near where I live, down to Stansted Airport. That's costing me £24 with National Express. So yeah, you can do that. I could have drove down and parked, but the parking would have cost more because I'm going to be away for a month in total. It's going to cost more. So when I'm there, I'm going to be doing plenty of vlogs along the way. I'll do flight vlogs of all my flights. I'll try and do a vlog in each of the places where I am along the way. I'm going to go to some markets because anyone that watches my channel might have noticed I did a market video that did really well. And I said on that video I was going to do a giveaway when I reach 1,000 subscribers. I mean, I should be there any time now. So I'm going to buy some stuff and do a giveaway. So if you subscribe to the channel and then watch out for the market video, I'll buy some bits to give away, and I'll send it anywhere, anywhere in the world, wherever you are. So yeah, if you watch that, that should be pretty good. So yeah, I've got loads of videos coming up, so subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching this. Hope you've seen something there that's helpful with the, booking the one-way flights and really just searching around different places. Because there was a lot of other options I could have gone to, but it would have just ended up being a bit expensive. I wanted to go to Central Asia. There was flights to places like Turkmenistan, but the only thing, once you go to sort of Central Asia, you can get there cheap from Kuwait and from the Middle East. From there, the only cheap place you can go on from there is back to the Middle East, back to like the UAE, Kuwait, places like that. So I didn't bother, but one day I will do that for certain, yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.